out there. She goes screaming, flying, tag of lights at the lights. Every night we don't fight, they decide to decide. Baby shows and escapades. Let the arcade pixelated party lesson. They unafraid. Karaoke screams, singing themes, heart and sleeves. Anime dreams, Persian themes, city gleams, dancing screams, endless streams, let's extreme Saturday gleams. So it's day gleams, so it seems nothing reams. Raid this channel.
Channel Raid, tabletop role-playing game channels on the YouTube shout out for this Saturday. First off, let's take a moment to thank all the brave men and women of the LA Fire Department who are bravely fighting the fires and the devastation to my beloved state. Well, it's where I live. And so far fire-free here at Site B, but some of my friends and family not so lucky, so our best wishes and prayers to everybody affected by this fire. Enough of that. Let's move on to the positivity and talk about tabletop role-playing game channels on the YouTube. And I have so many this week that I had to split this. And I've still got some that I'm saving for next week because I think more than 20 minutes of me blabbing is maybe too much. First and foremost, got to give a shout out to my number one employee of the year, Jeff's Game Box, who continues to give me these links every week. Wow. This dude has gone over and above for me for no reason whatsoever other than he's just an awesome human being. So I am unbelievably grateful that he has filtered into my life. I guess I'm standing for him, as somebody said, or simping for him or whatever it is. Anyways, the other one is tabletop role-playing game shout-out thingy with Wolf of Phototech. He's been giving me a lot of links recently. Especially to helping me find the tabletop role-playing game VTubers. Since I'm starting to transition into being a PNG tuber on Twitch talking about tabletop role-playing games. Still got a way to go before I'm as cool as these dudes, but it's nice to see that there are other people out there, and he has sent me several links to them. So thank you, Tabletop Gaming with Wolf of Phototech. Please give these two wonderful individuals a shout out and a subscribe. All right. How y'all doing this Saturday? Hopefully you are safe and warm and free of the fires and someplace where you can recover from the holidays, recover from the fires, recover from the chaos. And let's start off the tabletop role-playing game YouTube shout-outs with some positivity. Yes, positivity. All right. First off, we've got Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson has 1.26 subscribers, 35 videos. He does solo role play and draws maps. Now, what are the chances this is the Matt Jackson who's in the Young Bucks? Because I know both the Young Bucks play D&D with Brandon Cutler in Rancho Cucamonga. Know that Brandon Cutler still does D&D. You know, Matt Jackson, one of the two Young Bucks. What is the chances this is Matt Jackson from the Young Bucks? Probably not, but wouldn't it be cool if it was? Anyways, let's give Matt a shout out and subscribe. Another solo YouTuber. So like I said in the previous episode, what's up with solo role-playing games that they're experiencing this sudden surge? Or is it just that they've always been popular, but now we're finding out about them because of social media? I don't know, especially post-COVID, but it feels like there's more solo role-playing game channels than there was during COVID. And I don't know why. There's a part of this sequence of events that I'm missing. There's two possible explanations. The more likely one is that it's just always been there. It's always been this big. We're just only now finding out about it because people are now talking about it. That's the more likely. The second one likely is you're either just not finding people who want to play the games you want to play, or it's just easier because it takes less time and setup to just put a piece of paper down and some dice and run yourself through a dungeon for 20 minutes. At least with solo role plays, your players have no excuses for not showing up, right? Or forgetting anything, because your only player is you, so you should know where you are at all times, unless you're schizophrenic or possessed by a ghost or inhabited by an alien. But other than that, yeah, you have no excuse for not showing up to the game you're running for yourself. Though I would love to hear the story if that ever actually happened. All right, moving on. We've got some other people. All these links brought to me by Jeff's Gamebox. Thank you very much. We have got the Abyss. We have got Don't Stop Thinking. Don't Stop Thinking. It was got a musical start. Don't stop thinking. Hold on to your blah, blah, blah. Don't Stop Thinking is a media channel that delivers obscure areas of interest to the general public in the hope that they can share my passion with everyone. He's got a Patreon. He's got a Facebook. They've got a Twitter. They've got a website. They do tabletop role-playing game, it looks like. A lot. We're talking about Kara Tour. Ooh, dangerous territory. We've got NPC creation inspired by waifu games and gacha games. We've got a lot of video game stuff. Mostly looks like, yeah. Again, here we have Kara Tour reimagining it as actual places in the real world. We've got some video games. We got some a lot of stuff inspired by video games, it looks like. So this guy takes video games and then tries to convert them to real life, and he does it through clips and live role playing. And wow, interesting. Yeah, so cool and nice setup. So taking the video games and converting them back to tabletop role-playing games, as opposed to, you know, how it was tabletop role-playing games first, and then video games that were inspired by tabletop role-playing games, and then, you know, interactive JRPGs and Souls-like and Diablo-like games exploded. And now, you know, there's just this huge nuclear plethora of these games. And now here's somebody taking those games and putting them back in role playing, hopefully doing it the right way, because we know that's what 4E tried to do, which we also know was an utter disaster. Not that the idea was a bad idea, as long as you understood there were some things in video games that just would not work at tabletop role playing. It's just the way Wizards of the Coast handled every single solitary aspect of 4E that was awful. So if I could give Don't Stop Thinking any advice, it would be to watch what Wizards of the Coast did with 4th edition and then do the exact opposite. Let's give them a like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Don't Stop Thinking, for shouting out these games. What else do we have? We have got Mother of Cat Dragons. Mother of Cat Dragons. Interesting. Okay, Mother of Cat Dragons. Let's see what your wherewithal is. So Mother of Cat Dragons has 45 subscribers, 38 videos. I'm going to delve into ancient role-playing games and related topics. I'm going to discuss what are integral parts of fantasy role-playing. All right, let's see how obscure they get. How Russia defeated the U.S., J.R. Tolkien's definition of evil, D&D, 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 D&D. Well, I'm not seeing any obscure tabletop role-playing games that nobody's heard of on this list, but still a lot of talk about D&D. Not sure how the Russian thing is, but okay. Apparently they are a felon drake, because that's what Cat Dragon is, felon drake. They're sitting on the Iron Throne there, talking a lot about D&D. Is D&D a game or a story? Both. Is good or evil truly dead in D&D? Should not be. Do DMs really role play sex encounters in D&D? I don't know. I never had, but I'm sure there are some. Is D&D 5e the new Coke of gaming systems? It is the McDonald's of gaming. It's not the best, but, you know, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of thoughts into talking about D&D, ancient setup, you know, taking stuff from video games and stuff like that and making it very dynamic, taking lots of clips. When do these people ever get in trouble for using these clips without permission? Some artificial intelligence art. Pretty cool. 45 subscribers, 38 videos. Let's give Mother of Cat Dragons. That means there's a bunch of cat felon drakes in her house, so that's interesting. Shout out and a subscribe. What else we got? We did that one. Did that one. Here we go. Here is Rich, the first time DM. Hello, Rich.
I started DMing back in 20.
He's a first-time DM providing tips for other first-time DMs and players in the world's most popular tabletop role-playing game, Call of Cthulhu, also discussing D&D-related things. He's got 136 subscribers, 30 videos. Let's give him a like, share, and subscribe. Hello, Rich, the first-time DM. How long have you been doing So Deck in D&D? 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 D&D and health, D&D and player character stories, D&D and banning spells. Do you ban spells in your game? I don't think I've ever banned a spell. Some spells were easier to get than others. It was always easier in my game to reincarnate than to resurrect someone because reincarnate is cheaper and funnier. Oh no, your ogre came back as a halfling with a 9 strength, or worse, a duck. Reincarnate. Fun. So yeah, just another guy doing the D&D thing, talking about his life with D&D, talking about his progression from a player to a DM, from fan to player to DM, why he likes 5e, why he's trying to make 5e play different, better. It says a lot about 5e that so many people are hammering at it, trying to make it better, trying to make it work. When I still stick to the belief that 5e works if you let it. But I do also understand why so many people feel the need to hook additions onto it, because as awesome as 5e is, and it is an awesome system, for what it does, it's perfect. Otherwise, Kelsey wouldn't have copied it for Shadow Dark. Bam! And I wouldn't be copying Shadow Dark for my stuff. So bam! But there are some areas where 5e falters, where actual gameplay and actual game thinking and actual DM tips were sacrificed by Wizards of the Coast in exchange for fluff, unnecessary crunch, artwork that could have been replaced with actual day-to-day interactive instructions to make it the glorious game it should have been, which probably explains why Rich, the first-time DM, and so many other peoples are going through 5e and going, I don't understand that. I can fix that. I can homebrew that, right? I can make that better. I think we've all done that. I mean, fuck, I played D&D Next and D&D 5e for a year before we realized we were doing criticals wrong. And for the first month of the playtest, we were doing advantage and disadvantage wrong until we got the second response from the playtest, and Wizards was like, no, you're doing it wrong. And we're like, oh, damn. Oh, well. But yeah, for like a year, we were doing crits wrong. And then somebody pointed out we were doing it wrong, and we'd already been doing it for a year. It was like, does anybody want to switch? We're kind of like this. And they're like, yeah, all right. So, hello, Rich. I look forward to watching your videos and watching your growth as a tabletop role-playing game YouTube content creator. Thank you very much for doing this, Rich. Let's help him reach 100, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. Yeah. All right. We got to end this where we started. As always, as you know, I got this idea from VTubers. Specifically, I got this idea from Iron Mouse, one of my heroes. So I have been discovering that there are tabletop role-playing game VTubers out there doing the exact same thing I'm doing. And as you know, I am slowly transitioning over to Twitch on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I have my little animated avatar. He's very, 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 very low quality, but it's a start, you know. And while I doubt I'll ever get as big as Mouse or Hakura, you know, I hope I can at least do some good and in the Twitch universe. And, you know, selfishly, we all know the reason why I did this because I want to meet Iron Mouse and Hakura and Henya. But I don't, you know, I understand that'll probably never happen, but still, they are awesome human beings. They inspired me to do this. So it's very exciting to find fellow VTubers who are doing the same thing. And the first up is Absalom Archives. Looks like we've got another Goblin. She has got 415 subscribers, 33 videos, and she does Pathfinder. So are you an official Pathfinder Society individual? Because you may be the first. You may be the first Pathfinder Society poster that I am aware of. So cool. And focusing mostly on Pathfinder 1, Pathfinder 2, Pathfinder 2 Core Electric Boogaloo, the inevitable Pathfinder 3, the return, whatever they're going to do next. Starfinder 2, I assume she's going to jump on that when it becomes available. and compare it and see if it's better or worse. So yeah, awesome. VTuber, awesome. Doing tabletop role-playing game content, awesome. Another Goblin. Got to give the love to the Goblins. Got to give the love to somebody who's focusing solely on Pathfinder, which is so rare. And hopefully they actually are a official Pathfinder Society individual, because that would be a first if they are. I don't think I've ever seen somebody who's in the Pathfinder Society, much less, the D&D Society, doing official videos. I'm not saying they're not there. I'm just saying I never found them. What do you guys think of the new mic? Hopefully it's working. So that's one. And then we got another one. We got two. We have Kaiju Kanojo. Kaiju has 1.52 subscribers, 64 videos, and they got some Gundam building. We've got video gaming. They're doing, looks like a Smash. That's a game, right? Video gaming. No, they know Philion. I know Philion. Pumpkin carving. Typical, combination of stuff. Little unnecessary boobage there. So yeah, cool, nice. Doing tabletop role-playing game, doing figures, Gunpla, building Gunpla. Gunpla's getting big. That's Gundam modeling. Gundam modeling is big in Japan, and it's starting to get big here in America. And apparently she likes Kaiju and Gundam. That's cool. It's cool to find somebody else who likes Kaiju and Gundam. So let's give them a like, share, and surprise. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. And showing us giant stompy robots. Look at this. Giant stompy robots. What's not to love about giant stompy robots? Are these her giant stompy robots?
Wow. There are a lot of new people here.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Extra love for somebody showing off giant stompy robots, even if it's mostly just Gundam. I was never a Gundam guy. I'm only recently getting into Gundam. Because, I was always a Go Nagi 70s, 80s transforming robot guy. For me, Get a Robo, Mazinger, Guy King, those were the robots. Gundams were just like giant guys in armor for me, and that didn't do it for me. And, the fact that they had guns that they tossed away just made them feel like giant guys in armor and not big stompy robots. Perhaps if I had been introduced to Gundam first and then like Guy King and Power Rangers second, I'd probably love Gundam most. But because of my introduction to giant big stompy robots was the Go Nagi stuff, was the transforming stuff, was, Mazinger stuff, Godan stuff, that I just never got into Gundam, which is weird because I absolutely loved Robotech. But yeah, so I'm only recently getting into Gundam and watching people put them together. I don't have the quality. It's exciting to see that there's going to be a Gundam miniature game going after the whole Warhammer franchise. So it's nice to see somebody focusing on that. Thank you, Kaiju. Plus, she's a Kaiju. We got to give loves for Kaiju, right? As somebody who is personal friends with the Godzilla mocap actor, got to give love to our fellow Kaijus. And that's it. Thank you. Did it under 20 minutes. If you appreciate any of these channels and want to check them out yourselves, links down below. Thank you to each and every one of these awesome YouTubers for trying to make the tabletop role-playing game community on YouTube just that much better. Like I said before, every week, I don't do this to grow my channel. I mean, I hope I does, because selfishly I do, because this is my job. I do this because I want tabletop role-playing to be fun again. I'm so tired of the wherewithal of the negativity and the shit posting and the shilling and my side versus their side, and 5 videos a day telling me how awful I am, or how awful 5e is, or how awful the old school is, or how awful, but in the old days, we were just so happy to meet fellow gamers that the only things we argued about was my edition versus your edition. And it never got to the level of like physical conflict or the nonstop cyber harassment that we've seen over the past couple of years. So if by taking this idea from Iron Mouse and applying it to the YouTube, if I can just make any difference at all, if I even make one new fan or get somebody a little extra push on their channel this week, I've done my job. And obviously, selfishly, if it helps my channel grow, double experience points for me. But yeah, you know, I blab about this every week, but it just still, it's, you know, seeing Iron Mouse do this and helping a small little Twitch tuber become huge, and then watching Iron Mouse continue to interact with that YouTuber and a VTuber and help them grow was just so different. It was just so awesome. So yeah, you know, as you know, Mouse is one of my heroes. So inspired by her story and what she's done for the community. So yeah, that's where the idea comes from. And I know it sounds dumb, but it is what it is, and that's why I do it. And on that cheery note, please stay safe out there. If you're in Los Angeles, thank you again to all our firefighters. Please listen to the warnings. I know leaving your home behind is always scary and frightening. I'm still got PTS from the Thompson fires, but you can't outrun fire. Okay, you can't outrun fire. And to the looters, shame on you. Shame on you.
Television goes screaming fire, type of lights at the lights. Every night we don't fight, take the sides with the sides, baby Joe and the escapade. Let's the arcade, pixelated horror lesson, they unafraid. Karaoke screams, singing themes, heart and sleeves. Anime dreams, bursting seams, city gleams, dancing screams, endless streams, lights extreme, Saturday gleams. So it's day gleams, so it seems, nothing rings. Raise the shadow.